Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Spark series, our student speaker series. Today, we're happy to have Sanobar and Sabah Lala speak. They'll be speaking about the CCI Innovation Competition. They are two-time winners of innovation. So they'll talk about their experience with innovation from the whole thing, from submitting a submission to winning to the process of getting things off the ground. I do want to make a couple of announcements before we get started. One, innovation. Our fifth year of innovation is starting on Monday, February 1st. There'll be an email going out first thing Monday morning. We will have an information session sometime in early February. We're still locking in a date for that. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to cci-innovation@drexel.edu. Next, we have our next Spark series talk scheduled. So if you enjoy this series, if you enjoyed today's talk, you can feel free to join us for our next one. It'll be on Wednesday, February 10th at 6 p.m. We have two speakers lined up. The speakers are Sanskriti Simani. She'll be talking about the Humans of CCI series. So if you follow us on Instagram, you see the Humans of CCI series. She's a key part to that. She handles everything. She'll talk about that. And Manura Kadisra, she is one of our Dean's Ambassadors, and she'll talk about the Dean's Ambassadors program. So with that, we'll get things started. So today, I'm happy to announce Sabah and Sanobar Lala will be speaking. They are two CCI students, senior students who have been. I run events, and I've been seeing them here and there and everywhere for the last four plus years. So they're going to talk about innovation, CCI innovation. They are two-time winners. So they're going to talk about the process, and they're going to talk about their project, their latest project, winning project. So I'm going to turn things over to them. Let me share my screen.
Yeah, that's perfect. Thank you so much for the introduction, Dave. So we'll get started, but before that, for those of you who don't know me, hi, my name is Sabah. I'm a fifth-year data science major, minoring in biology and human-computer interaction, and my passion really lies in the intersection between the healthcare field and the tech field. I'll let Sanobar introduce herself, and then we'll get started.
Hi, my name is Sanobar. I'm Sabah's twin, and my major is also in data science and have minors in human computing interaction and biology.
Okay, so as Dave said, today we will be talking about the Innovation Challenge. We'll go through a little bit about what it is and what our ideas were and what our brainstorming process was and any tips and advice that we have for you guys. Okay, so the Innovation Challenge, I first heard of it in 2017, which is the first time that it was like generated as well. And to give you guys a little bit of context, I joined CCI in 2016. So basically, I think of it as an initiative to generate like a program or a space where CCI students and staff get a chance to put on their little thinking caps and identify gaps in the CCI community and basically come up with a working draft of a solution that they envision will help CCI run more efficiently. And so some of the topics that past winners and also submissions that we've seen have focused on advancing the Women in CCI initiative, diversity and inclusion, which is a big one, and this year's theme as well, giving back to our local Philadelphia community. So as you guys know, Drexel is really big on civic engagement, and that's what we're trying to focus on as a college as well. And my overall favorite being helping build a more vibrant CCI community to enhance our student experience. So going into kind of the tips and advice part of it, I would suggest thinking about a topic or a theme that you are really passionate about and believe that CCI can capitalize on improving, which can benefit a lot of students and overall just increase our knowledge. So for example, if you want to see more diversity and inclusion, start off with identifying gaps and ways in which you can effectively bridge those. So maybe if you want to have more cultural events, sharing experiences, or even your struggles, because that's just as important, panel sessions, etc. And Sanobar will walk you guys through our brainstorming process a little bit later. But once you have the idea down, start writing your submission with lots of clarity and passion. And so one major tip that I have is to make sure you write a solid and cohesive abstract, because the next step after that will be crowd voting. And you want to grab the attention of the reader with your enthusiasm in your abstract and your unique idea, which will make them want to vote for your idea. And side note, creative titles really help, which Sanobar will touch on a little later as well. Also, do not be vague in terms of your application process. So just don't be like, oh, I want to have a panel session. Go into as much as detail as possible. Like, how many members will be on that panel? What will they be educating us on? What are their backgrounds? What are their gender ratios, etc.? Because remember, these like ideas will have to be implemented in the future. So you want to have as much clarity as possible. And so after that, the judges will do their magic and review your project with the balanced lens of feasibility of your idea and how impactful it will be towards the CCI community. So those two things are something that you all should keep in mind. And so honestly, after that, it's just a waiting game. Hopefully yours gets selected. And in light of COVID times, honestly, I'm super excited to see the creative ideas that students and staff come up with, because this really is a time for us to get together as a community and figure out ways in which we all can still prosper and thrive and continue to learn and grow both personally and professionally. And that being said, I will now let Sanobar go through the whole process from which we decided our voice to be heard to enhance the student community all the way up till our implementation phase, where we had the pleasure of working with Dave and Brian. So Sanobar, you can take it away.
Thank you, Sabah. So what I kind of want to do is use our inspiration, Sabah and I's inspiration, and kind of generalize to help prospective students who are going to write their applications to the CCI Innovation Challenge, just figure out what to do if you're lost. So the first thing that I would suggest in doing is finding a quiet space. What Sabah and I did was we went to the academic building, which is right next to Drexel Pizza. And we went there at 10 p.m., which is a time that we thought we worked best at, because we're actually night owls instead of early birds. So that's where the juices start flowing, and we actually have the most collaboration happening and ideation happening. So those are definitely 2 points that I would like to emphasize: is find a quiet space and find a time that works best for you, that you know that you'll be working efficiently. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is collaboration. Finding somebody who understands you as a person and understands your values, but also will bring in a different perspective into your ideation process is something really important that I realized by having Sabah by my side. And I know that I have Sabah with me, but I know that a lot of people have friends at CCI who share similar values and experiences, who can help each other grow and connect, which can basically help enhance your ideation process. So what Sabah and I did was we were at the academic building at 10 p.m. and we were just talking down notes on the whiteboard to see what ideas we can come up with in relation to the email that was sent out about the CCI Innovation Challenge. So basically, after that, what you have to do is have a goal in mind. People who are lost about, oh, I don't know what idea I have, I don't think I can come up with any ideas, great ideas, and I don't think they'll be feasible. That's where people get stuck. So the first thing that I would like you to do is take a step back. And as soon as you get the email about CCI Innovation Challenge, write something in your calendar. This day at this time with this person is when I'm going to write my idea and submit it. You do not need to know what idea it is yet. You just need to plan to have a goal and set that goal and step on it. So after that, it will become much easier because you'll start the method. So once you're actually into your zone and you're talking about your ideas, that's when you can start brainstorming. So the first step of brainstorming that I think is most useful is to focus on the theme that CCI has provided to you, and then relate it back to your past experiences and try to pull information from there. For example, for the Innovation Challenge for Lights, Camera, CCI that we won, the theme was to build community based on a specific space at CCI. So we had to utilize the state-of-the-art space at 3675 and build community through that. So those, keeping that theme in mind, I tried to relate back to my past experiences. So I thought if I was a freshman, for example, and I just came into the 3675 space, what would I have wanted to do with this space? So asking yourselves these questions and bringing those ideas into perspective can really help you start your brainstorming process. This in turn will then help you identify gaps that Sabah mentioned that you can then generalize to form a general problem that you want to solve. So for me, what I thought was there is a gap in communication and transfer of knowledge that I have seen between upperclassmen and freshmen. And so I wanted to revolve my problem statement on that and then find solutions using the CCI theme for that. So of course, then the hard part is coming up with a solution. But the best way, I think that I mentioned this before, is through collaboration. So once I had that idea, Sabah was right next to me in the room. So I pitched the idea to her, and then we went back and forth in terms of what we should do with the solution, what space we should identify and revolve our solution towards. So that's a great starting point, having that collaboration. Another great starting point for finding a solution is to Google stuff. So just like for a coding exercise, you would go first to Stack Overflow and kind of look at the options that you have out there. You can go into Google and see what people have done before for these type of problems. Obviously, you wouldn't find the exact solution that you're looking for, but the idea is to find bits and pieces of information and collect it with your past experiences to form your own unique solution to the problem. So then after you've brainstormed with your partner and come up with a solution, you can try to draft out your process and make it into an abstract and a Word document format that CCI requires you to send them through. For me, the idea that Sabah and I came up with was that we utilize a space on the 10th floor of CCI to basically set up a camcorder and a little screen backdrop where freshmen or underclassmen can come in and ask questions like, what is this class like, this specific class like, or are there any better ways I can understand a coding concept that you can help me with, or I am interested in this co-op experience and I wanted to learn more in addition to the ESNP archives. Can you speak more to your experience? So what the upperclassmen can then do is come into that booth, record that video and submit it on an online platform that can help then connect the freshmen and upperclassmen. And that's how you would form that community. So this is the ideation that I kind of came up with using all of the tips that I just gave you. So finally, when you're out there and you know your solution, now you have to put it into words and make it understandable so that the CCI judges who are reviewing your application know exactly what your solution is, know exactly what your problem is, and if it's feasible to implement. So what will really give you your winning application or winning idea is to ask yourselves a couple of questions that Sabah already alluded to previously. It's to think from a CCI judge's perspective. If I was a judge at the Innovation Challenge, if I read my paper, would I be able to think that I can implement this idea without spending too much money out of my budget? Will this idea create value for students? And how can I add measures to actually show them that this project can be successful? So definitely having KPIs and metrics, as you might have learned from your co-ops or classes, help you solidify your idea. So what I said for my project was we could create a YouTube channel, which could host all of those videos, and we could monitor the subscriber count in it to see how it has been progressing. And if more people are interested, we get more subscribers to our YouTube account. And also we could send before and after surveys to freshmen, underclassmen or upperclassmen to see how connected they feel with their upperclassmen after this implementation. So yeah, that was basically the whole method that came together, and Sabah and I both worked really hard on it. And that's how we created our project.
Yeah, and I think there's a question before we go into the next part of the presentation. Zui asks, did we pitch this idea to our friends and get feedback? And yes, we definitely did, because the more ears, the better. We even pitched it to our parents because they're super involved in everything that we do, and they're both from a tech background too. So but what I'm trying to say is, like, if you talk out your idea to people, they can probably identify things that you don't see because you've been so immersed in that ideation process. So it definitely helps give you like a bird's eye view of what's going on.
Was on mute. Another question came in. Did you get stuck at any point? And if so, what did you do?
So for me, I did get stuck with the solution part of it. So I had identified my problem, and I was just stuck on how it's going to happen. I was starting to doubt myself. This is not a good idea. I don't think it's going to work out. And then I just started to scrap it. I was like, I'm not going to do this. I don't think they're going to actually, consider me. And so in that sense, what I did was just have that confidence. I was thinking of scrapping the idea, but I thought it's worth giving it a shot. It's worth just asking to help improve the CCI community. So when I was stuck at that point, I was just thinking, just having enough confidence is what will get you through that hump in your path. Yeah, that was for me.
So just to piggyback on this project is happening. I've met with Sabah and Sanobar. We have a tech one of our iCommons team members working on it, and I met with a group of students a week or so ago. So this is happening. It's just a matter of getting it out there. I'm hoping that it'll be shortly.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I mean, innovate.
sorry,
Go
I
ahead.
just want to add a little more on this. So
Yep.
with the implementation phase, it's really, really, like, I wouldn't say easy, but it's really collaborative, because they've reached out to us like after we won the idea, and they were like, do you guys want to help us implement it? And we were like, yes. And he made it really simple, because we went back and forth in meetings, and we just had conversations, and how we would set up like a form, what space we would use since everything's going to be virtual, et cetera, et cetera. So it's not that CCI will leave you on your own to do it and implement it. They will support you in every way possible to get this done. And
Yes.
Dave, if you want, I can show the form we have so far and just briefly walk through how it can be submitted.
Sure. Give me 1 second to pull it up. Any other questions while I'm pulling up this sheet? And I will say, like I said earlier, the innovation competition will open up on Monday. You'll be receiving emails sometime Monday morning. We are also working on, with this being the 5th year of innovation, we're also working on basically a look back at the projects that we've worked on that have resulted in that have become part of the college, an impact report. So we'll have more information about that in the coming days. Obviously, the Spark series is one such project. This was a winning project a couple of years ago that eventually became the Spark series. The course evaluations that I know you guys have worked on, that's actively being worked on as well. Women Computing Initiative is something that came out of innovation. Yeah, so there is a lot that we have to report on through innovation. So here is a draft of what the intake form is. It's fairly simple. It's just not loading.
Also, the Ask CCI program itself is volunteer based and volunteer driven. So if you guys want to sign up, it would be a great way to give back to your CCI community. You can email either me, Sanobar, or Dave, and we'll get back to you with next steps. So please sign up.
Yep. So and so what we'll do is we'll circulate this to the college, and we'll ask the students to submit their questions. They could be questions. We're gonna try to limit it. We don't want particular questions about any particular faculty, staff, or student. But we'll be happy to answer questions about experiences. What are your experience with CCI student groups? What are your experience with the different initiatives? What is your experience as a dean's ambassador or peer mentor? Co-op. We expect a lot of questions about co-op, especially for underclassmen who haven't gone through before. Talk about their experience finding a co-op or what a co-op position is like. Just the jargon you hear. What's an RA? What's a TA? What's the CLC? What's things like that. So those are the types of questions we are expecting. We will have people answering questions. We have undergrad, grad, and doctoral students who've signed up. We're going to ask for pretty simple information, what the question is. Let's go here. And once they pick their category, they'll just go to the next page where they'll ask their question. It's pretty simple. We're going to look at trying to have a 3-day turnaround. So at least the first, we're going to be looking at a 3-day turnaround for the answers. As we get a better idea of how many questions come in, we might have to adjust that. And as Sanobar and Sabah mentioned, we are going to look to YouTube to house the answers, and hopefully soon. I'd like to say we'll have a big enough question bank built up so that we can just direct people directly. So if a question comes in about co-op or a question comes in about what is the CLC, we can just direct them directly to that answer. So that's Lights Camera CCI. It's actually going to be known as Ask CCI. So when the email goes out about it, you'll see an email about Ask CCI. Any other questions about this project, about innovation, about really anything? All right, well, if not, I want to thank everyone for coming today. I want to thank our speakers, Julie, Sanobar, and Sabah. Thank you so much. Thanks for everything you do to help the college out, just for volunteering and serving on different committees and helping out with everything. If you'd like to learn more about the Spark series, we're on the web. If you'd like to learn more about the Spark series, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to send you more information about it. We do have a form that if you are interested in speaking, I have a form that you can fill out. Like I said, our next Spark series coming up is February 10th. It's going to be at 6 p.m. We'll have a speaker speaking about our Humans of CCI program, and we'll have a speaker about the Dean's Ambassador program. So with that, I want to thank everybody and have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.